I can't believe I'm doing this, but here we are. Now, don't worry, this video isn't a rant or anything. I just really want to talk about this. So, as you all probably would know, Bluey is an extremely popular series, and one of its apparently most iconic episodes is Sleepytime. I have to disagree with that, if I'm gonna be honest. Now, I only saw this episode once. It's not because I hated it or anything, no, I said this wasn't gonna be a rant, but I found it to be just okay. Like, it's just in the middle of the road of being decent. There's nothing wrong with it, it's just a standard good episode. But, apparently, this is the best episode of all time. Like, can I please get an answer why? I mean, you could probably say so because of the whole planet system, because Bingo is Earth, Floppy is the moon, and apparently Chili is supposed to be the sun? I don't get it. How? Yeah. That's a good question. How? How is this supposed to be the best? The space scenes look visually nice, but I don't get it. It's not making me say this is the greatest episode in the history of television, it's just a nice visual effect. Also, I feel really sorry for Chili and Bandit for what they have to do to go through at least one night with what their kids want. Cause Bandit gets really tormented in this episode, and I feel sorry for him. In fact, do you want to know something? About 90% of the episode is Bingo and Bluey, as well as Floppy in space. That's about it. The other 10% is whatever goes on in the background that isn't a part of a dream. Okay, though, I will admit this one scene is pretty funny. Bluey just waits for Chili to wake up and she gets startled because Bluey wants some water. I will admit, that is a funny scene that I actually like. If someone were to ask me, what's the most iconic part of this episode, I might say that scene, because it's funny and... It's funny? No, I'm just kidding. It's just funny. Okay, fine, if I had to pick something else, I would say Bingo emerging from Earth. Again, it looks visually really nice, but it's not making me give this a more than a 10 out of 10 ranking. The quote, though, that Chili does mention, I think 2 or 3 times in this episode, it's actually pretty damn memorable, and I will give that some credit. You know what? What else can I say about this episode? It's just Bluey and Bingo in a dream in space. Chili and Bandit have to deal with whatever goes on in the middle of the night, and that's it. Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Yay! This episode gets a 10 out of 10.
I was being sarcastic. Like, I don't get it. Look, this episode is fine. I would give it maybe a 5 or a 6 out of 10, but I would definitely not say a fucking 9 or 10 out of 10. If you want 4 episodes that I would easily give a 9 or a 10 out of 10 to, I could think of 4 examples. Swim School, which is my favorite water-themed episode. Baby Race, even though I haven't seen that in quite some time. Dad Baby, which is my favorite episode of the show. Or Sticky Gecko, and that's the only one that's really emotional to me. Well, then again, Dad Baby was too. You know what? While we're talking about it, apparently this episode is kind of emotional. It's the sad scene where Floppy has to leave. Yeah, I feel sad, but I wouldn't really, well, cry like this is the saddest thing on the planet. Then again, Floppy will still live on as a plushie that Bingo still has in her room, so that's always nice. Again, what else can I say about this episode? I seriously don't get it. Again, maybe it's just me, but I still don't know why people consider Sleepytime the best episode of Bluey. Again, think of the 4 examples I mentioned around a minute ago. Swim School may not be the most emotional episode, but it's definitely my favorite in terms of what the water-themed episodes are. Yes, in my opinion, this is better than The Pool, even though The Pool was pretty good. As for Baby Race, I can definitely understand why that one is emotional. Again, I haven't seen it in quite some time, but I can definitely understand and relate to you if you say this is more emotional than Sleepytime. Sticky Gecko, I'm gonna mention for one reason only, the last minute and a half, where Chili does give that speech to Bluey. This, as well as Dad Baby, well, okay, close, are the only moments that could kinda make me cry. Because this moment in Sticky Gecko, I can actually understand why this would make me feel pretty emotional. And that's why I love Sticky Gecko very much. Now, as for Dad Baby, I would say maybe the last 2-ish minutes, maybe a little less than that, could actually be the more emotional part of the episode in my opinion. But I'm not sure. But also, you see my point here, right? Other episodes did emotional moments better than Sleepytime, and I don't get them here. Again, Sleepytime is just good. It's not the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's not going to be the greatest episode that's going to have a TV record. I just don't get it. But this is all just my own personal opinion. If you love it so fucking much that you would give it a 10 out of 10, then that's fine. But if you're like me and only found it kind of average, then hey, good on you. Or if you have a hateful opinion, then that's your own taste. I'm just saying, because this episode is so overrated, and I really don't get why. I know I asked that question like maybe 3 times already in this video, but I'm just saying. So, yeah, that's about it. I don't really have a lot more to say. I'm just saying that Sleepytime is completely and utterly overrated. But that's just my opinion.